Research studies, an overview of the research study process. When conducting research studies, there are a set of guidelines that must be followed. These research studies must get the required approval in order to begin research. To get the approval of non-human animals to research in a study, there needs to be approval from the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee, IACUC. A research protocol must be completed to explain how discomfort and pain can be eliminated from the studies. Institutional approval of research on human subjects. Institutional Review Board, or the IRB, approves the use of human participants in a research study. This process includes evaluating the potential benefits while also detailing the ethical questions associated with the proposed study. When obtaining human participants for studies for the IRB, there are several steps in the process. One of the first steps in this process is to create the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Sample selection and consent. Once the participant pool has been created, a sample size from the population must be taken. When choosing a sample size, it is important to operate within the parameters of the research protocol. Power is the probability of rejecting a false null hypothesis. 80% power is considered the minimum percentage of the time that false null hypothesis is rejected. The effect size is represented by the magnitude of the relationship between two variables in a population represented in the research study. The details of the procedures for the study must be detailed prior to the study. This information is used to determine if the study is deemed humane for either animal or human participants. When scheduling the participants, the time the researcher is available and the time the participants are available is taken into consideration. More importantly, the type of participant being studied is a factor to include in the process. There are 8 elements of the informed consent to participate in the study: explanation of the study, procedures and risks, benefits of participation, details of compensation, information about right to refusal, sensitivity to information, the ability to withdraw, and confidentiality. Research protocol and instrumentation. The details of the experiment would dictate the types of research instruments used. These research instruments are used to measure how the independent and dependent variables are related and can include MRI scanners, blood tests, and blood pressure monitors. When conducting research, a set of instructions must be prepared. This allows for researchers to have a set of guidelines to ensure that the procedures are being instituted accurately. When conducting research and collecting data, the most important rule is to follow the guidelines as close as possible. There is always potential for variance due to various aspects of a study, which include participants, setting, control, variables, types of study, and methods used. Debriefing is the process that researchers use following the experiment. The researchers provide the information about the study to the participants and engage in a feedback loop. A pilot study is a smaller version of the research study that is done to identify any areas of deficiency. The study also confirms whether the hypothesis is presented correctly or if it needs to be changed. References.